My name is Egon Dugas. I do parkour, and I like to talk about it. In this video, the first of many, I'm going to be discussing perhaps the most foundational technique in parkour, the precision landing, or pre for short. Today, I'll be diving into good foot placement on prees and why it works. When I think about good foot placement, I break it down into 4 components. The first is, where on the obstacle are you landing? In most cases, that obstacle is just a wall. So I'm going to use this yoga block to represent a wall. It's got sides like this. It runs towards you, towards me. Okay. Assuming we're jumping into frame from this side, we can land on this edge of the wall, we can land in the middle, we can land on the far edge of the wall, we can land on the side of the wall and slip off, right? In parkour, we like to land on the near corner of the wall, right here on this edge. But if you don't do parkour, that probably doesn't make intuitive sense. Why don't we aim for the middle of the wall where there's room for error on both sides? The second is, what part of our foot is landing on the wall? Because we've got our wall, got the edge of it, we've got our foot. You can land on the edge with your heel, with the arch, with the ball of your foot, with your toes, the top of your foot, whatever. In parkour, perfect foot placement is something like this. The ball of your foot on the corner of the wall. But again, this looks kind of weird. Most of my foot is hanging off the wall. And, if this is what I'm aiming for, I can miscalculate by even an inch, something like this. Now I'm just on my toes, and my toes might not be strong enough to hold me on the wall. I might actually slip off the wall and injure myself some way. So, isn't that crazy that we're aiming for this? Why not this? There are good reasons. I'm going to go into them. The third is the angle of your foot on the wall when you land. So that's the difference between landing like this and landing like this. Which angle you use depends on the trajectory of the jump you're coming in with, but most jumps in parkour are pretty lateral. You're coming at the wall from the side, and so I think it's fair to say that usually a good precision involves landing like this with your foot angled and then rolling up onto the top. And the fourth is just, how are your feet positioned on the wall in relation to one another? Because you've got 2 feet. Basically, it's just, is there space between your feet or are they together? And the ideal precision landing is with feet together. All right, so now that I've gone into what good foot placement is, I'm going to explain, as well as I know, how it works. There are 2 main ways that good foot placement helps your precision landing. 1, it allows you to decelerate quickly and efficiently. And 2, it makes your landing safer, especially your big, fast, impact-heavy landings. The slower you decelerate, the less impact you take. This is the principle by which all squishy surfaces work. The reason why a crash mat, or even grass, hurts less than concrete is that from the moment you touch it, it starts to compress and slow you down until you come to a complete stop. And maybe the mat is only slowing you down for 1/4 second. But you feel the difference compared to concrete, which stops you instantly. When you land on the ball of your foot, your ankle can dorsiflex to absorb some of the impact of landing. When you land on the arch of your foot, your ankle doesn't have the leverage to absorb the impact, and this especially sucks because your arches are more delicate than the ball of your foot, and it's actually quite easy to bruise the bottom of your foot by landing on your arches. While slipping backwards off the wall is quite dangerous and scary, slipping forward onto your arches or even off the other side of the wall can be just as bad in a lot of cases. In order to change your horizontal momentum, you have to exert force horizontally. Over in the sport of track and field, sprinters are trying to accelerate as fast as they can, and to do this, they use starting blocks which effectively just make the ground a little more vertical so that they can push horizontally as hard as they can without the risk of slipping. Here in parkour, on precision landings, we're trying to decelerate, and so we land on the edge of the wall with our foot angled so that we can use the wall as a reverse starting block and push against the vertical side of the wall to not slip. By now it's probably evident that guiding your feet into good foot placement within the split second you have midair while you're flying towards some wall takes a lot of precision, and that succeeding in doing that can be crucial to having a safe landing. The reason why we land with our feet together instead of apart is pretty simple. In parkour, it's rare that you're having to land with your feet split between two different objects. What's much more common is to land on one small object or some kind of strip like a handrail or the edge of a wall. And in these cases, it's borderline objectively easier to aim one combined object, your double foot, at one point on your landing surface than it is to aim two independent objects at two different points on the landing surface. Alright, that's all I've got for this video. Please write a comment if you have information you want to add to this, or if you learned something from this video. Maybe it's you realized why you've been doing things the way you are, or maybe you discovered something you could improve in your landings. I'm thinking about potentially calling this series Parkour Nerding. Let me know if that has been taken already. And I'm gonna put myself in the line here and say there will be 2 more videos released by the end of May. Yes. Okay. I love you. Thanks for watching. Oh shit. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Click the notification bell. Bye!